Well, hi, everybody. Thanks so much for coming today. I know it's a Saturday afternoon, and talking about politics on a Saturday is a heavy lift. But we here in South Jersey really are in the belly of the beast. Oh, it's my clicker. Thank you. We really are in the belly of the beast. And so much of New Jersey's liberation will come if we can organize and we can get our acts together. And so everybody who came from all far-flung regions of South Jersey here today, thank you, because this is one of many steps we will take together to clean up all of New Jersey. And today I'm going to talk about the ballot, which sounds like a wonky thing, and it sounds boring, and it sounds very technical. But those of you who've run or have been in close proximity to those people who have run know that in New Jersey specifically, the ballot is super, super important. And I'm going to walk through why, and then we're going to turn our attention toward what progressives can do. So how other states do it. So this ballot right here, this is California, and it is a hot mess. This is an open primary, so they have a lot of candidates. This is a senator election. They have a gazillion candidates running. That's one end of the spectrum. This is Nebraska. Now, what you'll notice in Nebraska is that they run a ballot the way you or I would if we were a principal in a high school and we were in charge of running the student council election, right? All of the candidates who are running for a position would be together in the same box, and so that when you, as a high school senior, go to place your vote, you look at the position, you say, okay, class secretary, who do I want? Okay, I want Sally. I'll put my name, I'll check her box and put it right into the box, and at the end of the day, everyone will count the votes. That's the obvious way to design a ballot. That's the most efficient way. That's the most fair way. That's the way it should be done. That's how they do it in Wyoming. New York is a little trickier. New York is closest to New Jersey as we get, but even then, they don't use the same visual tricks as we do in New Jersey. So what we have in New Jersey is the party line. And you heard a couple of my colleagues reference it. What it means is this. The Democratic Party, the county party, gets a line. And so when you go to vote, you look at the ballot, and there's usually only one line that's completely full. And so you can just hit the button that says, vote for those people, all the way down the line. And they're actually the only ones on the line who can call themselves Democrats. So you noticed in New York, both of Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders were Democratic candidates. In New Jersey, actually, the Democratic Party, Inc. is the only one who can call themselves Democrats. Everybody else in the primary, we're talking about the primary. Everyone else in the primary has to come up with another name. So it's Progressive Democrats, or it's maybe Democrats Against Trump, or Democrats for Change, or Democrats for the People, or whatever. But no one else can be Democrats. So that's craziness. So all of these people are the vetted candidates. They get on the line. You might find that you want a candidate way out here. And what we in the nerdy ballot New Jersey politics scene call that is ballot Siberia. And I had a conversation with a world-renowned pollster, which I thought was fabulous, the other day. It was very exciting for me. And I said, hey, world-renowned pollster, how many points do you think the ballot line is worth in New Jersey? Because I had been going around the state saying 30, because that was like kind of my back-of-the-envelope guesstimate. He said at least 45. That's crazy. It's like starting a basketball game or a football game down like 10 touchdowns or a basketball game down 40 points. You would never enter a race with those kinds of odds. And that's the ultimate stick, and it's the ultimate carrot for party bosses to control how things work. Does it make a difference? Yes. And Wisniewski mentioned that he won Salem County. Well, guess what? In New Jersey, there's only 2 counties that don't have the line, and one of them is Salem County. And Wisniewski, who marketed himself as a progressive candidate, won in Salem County. Salem County is not what we would call in South Jersey a progressive state, a progressive county, right? Like of all the counties you'd think where a progressive insurgent could win with underfunding and all that, you wouldn't think Salem County. But Wisniewski, without the line interfering with democracy, Wisniewski was able to win in Salem County. And that is a real lesson and an underscoring of what that world-famous pollster told me about the line's value. So Sussex and Salem are the 2 counties in New Jersey. What do they have in common? Both really rural, right? Both not a lot of people.
So it's not worth that many votes. So when it comes down to the chess game of who's what, Essex County's worth a lot of points, all of South Jersey together is worth a lot of points. Little old Sussex, little old Salem, not worth that many points. Not that many people live there. Not that many Democrats live there. It's also, they tend to be Republican controlled. So there's less control by the Democratic Party as a state for what happens on the ballot. And in every county, the county clerk is the one who has the say for how the ballot looks. And guess what? The county clerk's also an elected position. So they actually have an invested interest in keeping things the way they are because their job depends on getting elected. It's bananas. All right, so you don't just simply grab a clipboard and run for office in New Jersey. It's not like that. We love it. That was Barack Obama. Such an idealist. Not how it works in New Jersey. So we have this thing called a committee process. And this is actually the Democratic ballot in 2017 or 2018. This is insane. This is the ballot, okay? This is where you can't see who's here. This is Menendez. This is his line. These are all the people running in Camden County. Then way out here is Nina Scarpa. Does anyone know Nina from Merchantville? Yes, people in the back. I know. We had a lot of Nina fans in the room. Nina won in ballot Siberia by 2 votes in Merchantville, which is crazy and awesome and super empowering and exciting and like, go Nina. She was the only woman in that whole town council. So she ran, she's like, oh, we should probably have a woman on town council. And they were like, not your turn, not your turn. She's like, well, I'm going to run off the line. Ran off the line, won by 2 votes. Awesome. But you'll notice there's a gazillion freeholder candidates in between Jeff Nash and over column 9 in ballot Siberia. These people are put here to make the ballot even bigger. So they realize that if you only had 2 columns, right, if you put everybody who was running back in 2 columns, it would create a visual that looks more like that New York ballot, right, where you're like, oh, I could see choosing among all these different lines. What they do in Camden County is they put people, these people don't have websites. You could Google this. They're not actually running. They get like between 0.5 and 1.5% of the overall vote. They're just kind of in there. They're not actually running a competitive race. They're there as placeholders to make the line really long so that anyone like Nina Scarpa is way out in ballot Siberia. Okay, that's just close up in case you didn't believe me. And you'll see that the line has an effect, right? The line, those guys won by a lot, right? They might be beloved freeholders, okay? But they also have the line, and it has a huge effect. You'll notice also that if we went back to that slide, the line has a bit of a halo effect. So the people next in line and closest out tend to get the next number of votes. So it's like, it's a real powerful thing. The New York Times, national media really helps in New Jersey because when someone from not New Jersey looks at how New Jersey works, people are like, wait, what happened? That's nuts. So anytime the New York Times or WNYC or you name it, national media, Washington Post, writes about New Jersey, it really helps the progressive cause. Counties all have their own rules about who gets the line. So this is a really important thing. It's not consistent across all different counties, making progressive networking and progressive activism extra tricky because you can't just call up your friend in Middlesex County and say, hey, how'd you guys do it? Because the laws and the bylaws are all different. This is really important. I think this visual says a lot. These are the 7 South, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I only did 5. I couldn't do it after a while. This is the South Jersey County chairman. Okay, you'll notice they have some features in common. They're all men. They're all white men. They're all roughly the same age range. These guys decide who gets the line. And they sometimes have votes, but in South Jersey we have no place that has a secret vote. So everyone from all the different municipalities will come together, and they may or may not do this. They don't do this everywhere. They don't publicize it. They don't let you know ahead of time. They may vote, but it's almost always a voice vote. And the thing about a voice vote is if you want to stick your neck out and you want to say, no, I'm voting for Nina Scarpa. I want her on the line. Then everyone in the room will know that you're the one who wanted someone that the rest of us didn't want. So it is another lever of control. So the point of this slide, this one I just could not resist. So over Super Bowl weekend, South Jersey women had a meeting. It was lovely. We had a very nice time. We talked about racial justice. Meanwhile, in Puerto Rico, 60 men, all from New Jersey, all politically active men, went down with Joey D, all 3 Norcross brothers, some guy from the EDA, mayors of this town, county chairmen from that town, all got together to hang out in Puerto Rico. And look, I get it. Boys will be boys. They're going to go to Puerto Rico. They're going to watch the Super Bowl. Fine. But this good old boys club is who runs our state. And to think that 100% of the people on this trip are all politically active, they're all politically connected. I mean, one of them's on the EDA board that approved the tax credits that went to George's company. I mean, that's insane. The bill that Don wrote. I mean, this is just good old boys club. So you combine that with the fact that all of the county, almost all of the county chairs, certainly in South Jersey, are white men. And there's this really sort of macho bro culture. That's not good government, and that needs to change. So being on the line gets you a lot of advantages. We've kind of talked about this a little bit. Vote by mail, I think, is a good thing because it increases voter turnout. Some people are nervous about vote by mail because it makes party line voting more common, but that's something we have to deal with because voting is better than not voting. If you get on the line, and if you fight against the line, you'll notice that the county committees will start to trot out the big names. And so one of the things the county committees have is access to celebrities. So Alec Baldwin appeared at a South Jersey fundraiser when they needed to raise some money. Bloomberg, back when he was flirting with a presidential run, he came down to South Jersey. And this is probably one of my favorites. Cory Booker, our presidential candidate, who, good enough guy, right? He, for whatever reason, felt it really necessary to come up from Washington, where he's a senator, in 2017 and endorse Cherry Hills Town Council. That's crazy. How many there's like 600 towns in New Jersey, and Cory Booker, because there was a challenger that year, Cory Booker took time out of his day to do a video. This is you could actually go online and watch it. I see it's only had 108 views, which I kind of find amusing. But you can actually go watch the video Cory Booker did with the Cherry Hill progressives, or Cherry Hill incumbents. So if you are an activist, I'm supposed to stop. Okay. The last thing I'm going to say is where you find yourself in this ecosystem, whether you're an activist, whether you're an insider, whether you're someone who works for the county or you work for something like Connor Strong and Buckley, or you work for Cooper Hospital, you find yourself in this ecosystem whether you like it or not. And there are difficult decisions. And I don't hate any player, but I do hate the game. And it's up to all of us to take a little bit of risk. And it's hard. And if it's the difference between putting food on your table and not, and the difference between having a professional life and not, those challenges and those choices are real. But real change requires sacrifice, and it requires sacrifice from all of us who know the truth and all of us who know what's really going on in South Jersey. Social media is a weapon. We can use it. They have a terrible social media game. Organizing and engagement, those expertises are weapons that we can use because this whole system is designed on people not being engaged. So all the efforts we've done to engage people in all the various groups in this room, fight the machine. So I will leave you with that, and thank you very much.